Good morning. It's 4:45 in the morning. We're up because we're running a 5K in Dallas today. It is the first of 5 races I am running this year. Let's get ready to run a 5K.
Already been censored from being released to the public. NPR's Ryan Lucas and his filed suit after the justice agency being public opened up agents as the Alaska desk Jeremy Shea.
I'm Jeremy Shea in Anchorage, Alaska.
Order unconstitutional. For NPR News, I'm Andrea Perdomo.
By a Coast Guard helicopter, it lowered 2 rescue swimmers who confirmed the death. The plane was operated by Bering.
Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. So the state's pausing live bird deliveries at 80 markets in the city, as well as Nassau,
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. A fifth.
The fact that the unconceptual hashtag might die dodge is still living on in our online discourse. These examples, okay? Like I said, mobiles are not really new. They've been around for a while now. But I think traditionally they've been and break down their costs to see exactly what they're spending. Basically whittle it down into a capsule wardrobe that fit her personal style. 2020 or even before. And the rise definitely makes sense. That some brands will lean into and try to monetize cycling services that will further the personal style trend. I think too, a lot of brands continuing to drop.
He is looking for here, though I feel like taking. Oh, we struck. There's nothing like. Do I need to fix this? Or that seems to disappear, which is what happened to Saman. Oh, more sewage.
Okay. You know, it would be better if I just OTD. We're gonna go ride a 5K. We're so excited. Alright, you guys, we're about to leave, so everything else is gonna be on my phone. Yeah. Okay. Let's go run a 5K. Good morning. We are in Fair Park. It is time for the run, and I'm gonna walk you guys through how it went. I was so excited for this run, but it did not go the way that I wanted it to. I was not properly fueled. I was not properly hydrated. I was very underprepared. And you'll kind of see that throughout the race. It was super fun and super exciting, and I was having a great time, and there was a lot of just like goofiness going on, like this guy's giant face. But it was nice. James was there. Hi, James. But here we go. Okay, we're off. We're running. And let me just say that I put 110% in and very immediately regretted it. Like, you can see how red I am here. Super dehydrated. It was not that hot. I was just super dehydrated. And in this clip, I feel like I'm not gonna make it. I thought I was gonna vomit. It was a tough scene, but we continued. We kept trying. We finished, but it was not what I wanted it to be at all. And then there was a hill near the end. I don't know.
Kaya, Kristen, Martha, Valerie, Michelle.
Hi y'all. It's about a week later. I am gonna recap the race with you guys really quick. I have this little like photo kind of scrapbooking thing that is my race journal, and I use it to document my races. And I only have one other one besides the race that we're talking about today, which is my Disneyland race that I ran last January 2024. But today we're talking about the hot chocolate 5K. Okay, so here's the deal. I was undertrained, underhydrated, I underperformed, I was underfueled. The theme of this race was under. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to. That's okay, that happens. I was really using this race as a training and like a baseline to see where I really am physically, and I'm in the trenches right now. I can kind of tell that I'm in the trenches from the way that my skin looks, the way that my body feels all the time, the amount of time that I sit. I can kind of tell that I'm in the trenches right now. This is a really good, like, I guess, bar. Like, it really set the bar for how much training I'm gonna have to do. Like I said earlier, this, or in the beginning of the video, this is race 1 of 5 this year. For my 30th year on this earth, I want to run 5 5Ks. I want to be able to run 3.1 miles without ever stopping. And I want to prepare myself because I have a 2-year journey that basically starts now. That started with this race to train to run a marathon in 2028, the very beginning of 2028. So kind of a 3-year journey, but kind of a 2-year. So this race actually kind of, like, this was the race that was allowed to suck, I guess. If I could put it into context, this one was allowed to kind of suck because it was the baseline. Let's set the baseline. Let's see how crap we really are. Because when I ran this race last year, I've been training and I slayed, and I ran basically 2 miles of it and only walked maybe a mile of it, and I did a great job. This race, I was so underprepared. Oh, and with the Disneyland race that I ran last year, I was also underfueled and also dehydrated because I went to Disneyland the day before with my friends and did not properly fuel. And even then I was in a better position because I think I've been training better with this one. No, I really sucked it up. But that's okay. I ran a 13-minute mile, which is pretty much my standard with the few runs that I have done recently. I used to run like a 10-minute mile, 10 to 11-minute mile, and I can do that. Like, my body tries to run at that pace, and then I get like winded so quickly. So I ran a 13-minute mile. I would say that isn't like the worst mile time. I've always been kind of a slow runner. It's not my best. So I'm only comparing myself to myself at this point, which I think is really good for me. The opportunity to be able to say, like, okay, this is where I was when I ran that first race, and here I am now at the Hot Chocolate 5K. I can compare myself to myself, and I can know where I want to go and where I want to get. So, yeah, just crazy. I mean, just really, like, wild. Sorry, I'm looking at the comparison. I ran the Disneyland 5K in 39 minutes, and then I ran the Hot Chocolate 5K in 42 minutes. So that'll do it. I mean, for somebody who like really hadn't been training and really sits down a lot, like, that wasn't terrible. I actually think it's a good sign that I'm going to be able to do a lot better in the future. So I feel great about that. But I started in a really far back group. I like wanted to be further back than I was because I didn't know how fast I was going to be able to go. And so I did like the longest mile time, even though I didn't really need to do that. I got off the line and I started really strong. Like I was saying, I started really strong. And then immediately, like, I had to stop and pull up my leggings because my leggings were slipping down off of me. So I had to like stop and like pull my leggings up. If you know, you know, like from the bottom, like from like where my ankle is, so that I could get them to fit me a little bit better and be like a little bit more snug and just sit better. And then I took the jacket I was wearing off in those first few clips and tied it around my waist. And then I kept going. And the way that the course was set up, it was like basically a straight for the first, I would say like half a mile. Then you turned and then you went the other direction and then you went all the way. The rest of the course was just basically a straight line that direction. You did one more turn, but it was more like a curve, like you were following the road. So it was kind of a straight line. And I got probably to halfway through the end of that straight, that first straight, that was that first half mile, and was like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. Like, and immediately was like, oh, this is bad news. My brain was being a hater. It was like, I want you to stop doing this. And I was like, can't do that. Sorry. Paid money to be here, can't do that. So, I wasn't really feeling it, but I made it happen, I guess, is the best way I can say that. I don't know that I wasn't feeling it. Like, I wanted to do it so badly, and I was so excited to be there, but my body was so pissed at me. It was like, you need to chill. And I've never been super athletic, so I can't say that I'm surprised. It was disappointing all the same because, again, I'd had a previous experience that I had trained for and I'd done really well in my opinion. So yeah, it was rough. It was a rough start. And then it was a lot of walking and running for the rest of the 5K. In that previous clip, you saw how red I was. I was so red. I was so dehydrated. And I was sweating so much. And then we got like, I don't know, we got to the water station at like mile 1.5. And we got to the water station, and they were handing out chocolate. No, again, hot chocolate 5K, like I love a good bit. But they were handing out chocolate and like little pieces of chocolate and also water. I took that water. I did not touch that chocolate. I was like, are you kidding me? I drank the water. I did have a second wind. And then that's when I was like, confirmed, your girl is dehydrated. And the rest of the run really was just me walking, starting and stopping and walking and running and walking and running and trying to keep my mile time. I wanted it to be below 12 minutes. That obviously didn't happen, 13.5, but trying to keep my mile time at a decent time and trying to keep pushing myself without going too far, like finding that sweet spot where it was like, okay, I can run now. Oh, I need to stop. Okay, I can run now. Okay, I need to stop, which is what got me to, unfortunately, like I wanted to run across the finish line, but I started too soon. I should have started maybe a little bit later to get across the finish line because I ended up walking across it, which isn't a big deal, but I didn't want to walk across the finish line, but whatever, it was what it was. So that is kind of like the Spark Notes version of it. Overall, it was an extremely exciting time. I love running a race. I love doing it because it's exhilarating and it's fun. This was really just an opportunity to like go out, run, and enjoy myself, and also set my baseline. Like, how bad do I suck right now at this? And I don't mean like compared to other people. I mean like compared to me, like how much of my growth have I lost by not being active in the last year? Because I got hurt last April or March and just like haven't really run very much since. And I can tell, like I can really tell. So I'm gonna go over, so this is the back of the bib. The bib, the stats are all up here, right? So you can see like the name of the race, my time, my group, the length, and then the location where it took place. This little guy. And then on the back of the bib are some notes to commemorate and remember the race. On all of them, I go over the biggest high, the biggest low, and my favorite memory. My biggest high was just the fact that I was doing a 5K again. In 2024, I signed up for a total of 3 5Ks. I only ran one of those 3. because I was injured and James was sick. I got injured before the one I needed to run in April, and then James was sick over Thanksgiving, so I couldn't run my turkey trot. So doing a 5K again finally after a year was very exciting. I was just so excited. And then also James was there, and he wasn't at my Disneyland 5K, so it was just great to have him there. I was really excited that he was rooting for me. I would say the biggest low was just not feeling very well during it, not being properly trained or not having proper training, not being properly hydrated, not being properly fueled, all those things. Those effects were really rough, and I felt really incredibly icky, and that really, no one wants to run in those circumstances, so that really sucked. And then my favorite memory was actually James had walked to where the finish line was so that he could see me cross it, and I saw him and he smiled at me. Like, I can't even explain it. It sounds so cringy. To have him there, to know that like he was there rooting for me and he looked so happy for me, I can't explain like that. It was just like a really beautiful and incredible feeling. I could tell that he was really proud of me, and that just meant a lot to me. And then also I felt like I pushed myself for this race, but I really found a sweet spot of being able to say, okay, you can't go any, like you need to walk now. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, you need to walk now. I didn't give up. I was excited to keep going, and I don't feel defeated, and I'm really just incredibly proud of that as well. I'm glad that I, you know, I'm not giving it up. I'm not letting a bad time get in the way or discourage me at all. I'm just more excited, if anything. The only thing that's been discouraging me with running recently has really actually been the weather has been terrible. It's been so cold and windy. Like, who wants to run when it's cold and windy outside? Like, nobody. But I kind of have to get over it because Texas has extremes in the weather. It's cold and windy, and then in 3 months it'll be blisteringly hot and miserable outside. So I either need to get cool with my treadmill or like the treadmills at the gym, or like learn to run outside when I'm uncomfortable. So that's really been the only thing. But yeah, overall it was such an exciting and such a fun time. I love the medal that I got. I'll insert like a picture of me right here. I don't know. I had such a good time, and I really enjoyed the experience, even though there were some really tough moments, and I can't wait to do it again. My next one is in April, so I'm really excited to run that race and be better for that one. Hopefully cut at least a minute down on my mile. I'm hoping. Here's to hoping. That's really it. That was my experience running the Hot Chocolate 5K in Fair Park. Thanks for running with me. I will see you guys next week for another video. Thank you for so much love on the last one. I've never gotten that many views on a video before, or that many comments. It was really awesome. So thank you so much to anybody who watched last week's video. If you didn't watch it, I'll try to like add like an end card on this one so I can link it if you missed it, or I can link it in the description down below too. I was really just kind of blown away by all the kindness and love that I received on that video. It was very, I mean, just really, I was blown away by it. So thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to. I'd love to hang out and see you around. Comment down below if you've ever run a race, how far you ran, what your time was, just stuff like that, you know, brag about yourself a little bit. And if you're planning on running a race, comment that down below and tell me what race you're gonna run. I want to hear all about it. Subscribe if you'd like to hang out again. We're really getting into trying to figure out what other kind of content I make besides vlog content. And so there will probably be more like advice videos coming. I love to give unprompted advice. The Virgo in me thrives. And yeah. All right, you guys, I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Be kind to yourself and others. And okay, bye.